Hello and welcome to the Irish Hunting Podcast, brought to you by myself, Brendan Maguire, and Anthony Grogan. We're going to be bringing you all the best hunting, fishing and field sports from around the country. Hello and welcome back to the Irish Hunting Podcast. On this episode 38, we are going to be a continuation from last week's podcast. We will be talking to Darren from Rovince about some tick protection gear. As always, we'll bring you our news and roundup of events from around the country. We'll also be delving into some of the stuff that's been going on in our local gun clubs throughout the last week. And on this week's Let's Talk Gear section, we start talking about guns. Hope you all enjoy. Anthony Grogan, welcome along. Welcome back, man. It's felt like I haven't seen you in fucking ages.
I know, we're stretching this out a little bit.
We're stretching it out a bit, man. We're getting resentful of each other. Is that what's
yeah, that's
happening?
probably it. Yeah. One absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, so to say. Anyway, I don't know.
Doesn't work.
No, bullshit. Absolute
Blue
bullshit.
moon helps.
Blue moon helps, man. This stuff is this is 2 in a row. You fucking home run.
Look, man, you had a bad run there.
I had a bad run,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I know.
You like the stuff. I just
I
didn't.
do, yeah. So that's why I said I'd start picking, because
This is good shit, man.
it is good. It's nice, isn't it?
Blue moon, Belgian white, Belgium style, wheat ale.
Yeah, you like that. You're all
That's
over
class,
that.
man. Yeah, there's
Slice of orange, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and especially on a day like today, man, that is, there's lots of stuff going on in this. Brewed with white wheat and steel cut oats, Blue Moon features a crisp finish, the perfect combination of orange peel and a touch of coriander. I don't get coriander now, but definitely there's that little bit of a citrusy, but not
No.
tangy,
No.
not bitter.
And the wheat kind of cuts through that anyway, I think so.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's
good
nice.
gear. It is
And
good
on
gear,
a day
man.
like that, man, what more would you want?
What more would you want? Exactly right, yeah. Come here, what's been going on? How's life?
Yeah, it's grand now. It's grand. How's yours?
You don't sound too convincing there now, to be honest with you. Do you want to have a talk off air? Or?
No, we'll just try and forget. That's grand. Everything's going well, man. I haven't been, as you know, doing much hunting. We've been, both you and I, doing plenty of organising for the few bits for this week and upcoming events and stuff like that. So, very little sleep, a lot of driving, a lot of running around.
Yeah.
C'est la vie. That's the life I chose. I don't want any sympathy for it. So it is what it is, man.
Exactly. You did the crime, though. You got to do the time.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
exactly what it is.
When I'm old and decrepit, I'll have plenty of fucking taxis.
People run around. Yeah. Hopefully.
That's my plan.
That's your plan, man. Yeah, exactly. Not a bad effort. Come here. I was out. I done a bit of hunting this year.
Did, yeah.
I had a mad late one with Yanis and McKeever. That was
Talk about the new style of hunting.
Yeah, this is one that Yanis has been the driving force behind this one. Yanis is obviously, he's a member of our gun club. But it's, I suppose, a more laid back version, but very, very, very successful too.
Yeah.
So it basically involves a deck chair or camping chair of some sort. Finding yourself a suitable location out in a couple of wide open fields and bring the fox to you, man. You sit there and relax and you bring the fox to you. And Yanis, he'll attest to it. It fucking works, man.
Works.
Yeah, we got, what did we get? 5. He got 5. We didn't get any. He shot the 5. On, what night was that? Tuesday night, I think, was it?
What's he shooting, my buddy?
He's a 243.
243.
Yeah. Cellier and Bello, 100 grand. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, he's very, very happy with it. But just, it was unbelievable. There was an old dead animal, I think, there somewhere down near a wood, and there was any amount of foxes, man. They just kept coming out. Me and Big Mac headed down to another spot, down beside a field of kale and kind of on the edge of a bog, and we says, we saw it too, but like they weren't coming anywhere near us, like, yeah. So that was unbelievable. I think he's been out 3 or 4 nights since. I think he's got averaging 2 a night.
Wow.
Out on the same farm. So yeah, he's fucking smashing it, man.
The fox hunter.
The fox hunter, exactly. He's flying it.
Serious.
He
That's
is
some
flying
going.
It. Yeah, savage going. Yeah,
numbers are plentiful out there. You know, I've been listening to the lads in the club, and like that. There is no shortage of them.
No, there's definitely no shortage, man. Definitely
yeah,
not.
and obviously with the new with the fields being cut and stuff like that, it's they're out foraging.
Foraging, lads out spreading shit.
Yeah.
They'll be always rooting around in that as well, yeah. But I couldn't believe it. Like, as I say, our gun club, like we would have now, when I say a couple of us, we would, hunted heavily enough. Like, we would have been fairly, like, as regards the general run of mill, it would be fucking hunted a fair.
Well, as clubs go, man, you like, of all the clubs I know of, you put a huge amount of effort into the vermin.
Into the vermin, yeah. And just goes to show you, man, the numbers are back bigger than probably fucking ever.
Stronger than ever.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned, like, our numbers, foxes over the last 10 years have stayed consistent. There's obviously there's some years you get slightly more than others, but pushing 150 a year most years for the last 10, like, and you might say 123 or 125 one year, you might get 135 the next year, 155. It's kind of like up and down.
Yeah,
but in around that, between 120 say to 145 would be the average there.
So it goes to show, as we said, it's gas. It's not as if you start off 100 first year, then 60 and then 40 and then 20, and now you're not seeing them. It's and
they're such a sturdy animal, you see, because the cubs, they have a great survival rate. They're a sturdy animal.
Brilliant.
And like that, they're not susceptible to too many predators at that age. So they've pretty much free reign, and that's as we're clearing out our area. There's more moving in from adjoining areas and stuff like that.
There's any amount of them there, and that's why it's very important to keep on top of them and keep getting the numbers down and keep chipping away at them.
Yeah, we had an incident in the club. Actually, we had some of the larson traps out for the greys and the mags, and went down. One of the lads went down, Kieran, to check, and the two traps were stripped and thrown in the ditch.
Are you serious, man?
Yeah, and it's an ill-educated person. We have. It could be one or two people there, So we have an idea, but they're vandalizing, number one, and they're stopping a hugely beneficial service that we're providing, kind of free of charge, over a long time.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to go out and trap magpies? It's not exactly the most glamorous of occupations, But I was just coming down my lane actually yesterday, and the small birds and like, I mean, everywhere,
Yeah.
And like that, it's from the huge effort you put in over the last 7, 8, 10 years. It's not. Yeah. My hedge is full of small birds.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Yeah, I have just on that. Remind me, I have my spy point camera. I can give it to you. Set it up somewhere.
Very good.
Fucking catch the fuckers.
Yeah. We will do that the next time. That goes. We're setting up a new pen, but we're trying to pick the new area because we're terrified of somebody opening the door and letting them out.
Man, that's a real possibility. If you have someone down there, what's to stop them doing that? That's a real possibility. Yeah,
it's shocking behaviour.
Yeah. Well, they'll be subject to the same letters of the law as if me and you broke into a fucking farm
into their house.
Exactly.
So let's hope that we come get to the bottom. I think we have a few trail cameras en route, so hopefully that we'll be able to set them up and catch them in the act the next time.
Exactly, man. 100%. Yeah.
Before we go any further, new slot. Let's do it.
New slot, right?
Get it. Because we can. I know we'll get sidetracked, me and you.
We never get sidetracked.
Our auto cue here is on the blink at the minute.
Go to a break. So this is something that came up on the Women in Shooting Sports Ireland Facebook page, and it's the ICTSA, Irish Clay Target Shooting Association. They want to wish athletes Aoife Gormley and Jack Fairclough, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and HB Director Jeff McCready travel to the European Games 2023 in Krakow. The very, very, very best luck. So when's this on? This is on the
24th and the 25th.
24th and 25th, and then Aoife will be shooting the women's trap on Thursday and Friday the 29th and the 30th. Best of luck. I wish there was a little bit more probably advertisement of the likes of that, but it is in certain. But we've certainly shared it, and we'd love to get in contact, and we will be keeping an eye on you and see how he's go. And
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean, we're punching well above our weight in these competitions, and it's. I noticed that the box and the IBA were removed from the Olympics there during the week, and because of all kinds of corruption and so on, and here we are, like we're these guys and girls are going out all the time and bringing home medals for the country. It should be far more publicised.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The very best of luck with that, and we'll be touching base. We'll let everyone know how he's all get on.
Well done, guys. Here's another one of a fundraiser. So it's the ARGC shared this one here. It's on their page. Every year, thousands of euros raised by clubs for charities all over Ireland. And here's one in Cavan. It's a shoot being held in Cavan for a very worthwhile charity. It's called Aiming for the Kids. I'm not so sure about the tagline.
I reconsider that.
There's probably a few aunties there. But we know what you mean.
We know what you mean, but you could probably change the name of that.
For anyone else who's listening, there's no kids were harmed in it. But it's a 100-bird English sporting competition. The 29th to the 30th of July. Tee off at 9 a.m. The first kids are let out of the trap at that time. And you have a 4 o'clock to find them. The last card's at 4 o'clock. It's a €500 high gun prize. The prize is for all classes, 4,000 in prize money total. There's a barbecue and refreshments, and all proceeds go towards Children's Health Foundation. Brilliant. What a fantastic.
Yeah.
Contact Pamela on 086 242 3021. Yep. Get down to it.
Get down to it. That's class, yeah.
Sure.
We 29 to 30th of July. Can we go to that? Let's go to it.
I can't book that past 4 o'clock today.
Not till the end of July now. You have the end of
July.
End of July. Yeah.
You might be walking by then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to it anyway. I won't be.
We might very well.
Yeah.
Are you going to enter?
No, because that'll be just embarrassing.
You're probably better off.
Probably just give up on hunting after that. So, right, the last one I want to talk about now. A lot of lads will be saying, "What is he talking about this?" Believe it or not, we get a massive amount of listeners from over in the United States. So this is just one for the likes of you. So it's the Woods and Wildlife 2023 Outdoors Show, August 25th and 26th. My birthday weekend, man. Would you believe that?
I might make it.
I might make it. I doubt. So yeah.
I want to hear you pronounce this one now, because I have my own way of. I've looked at this one, right? You're getting this one fresh. Go on.
Should have read through
where is it now?
It's in 3349 Gahan Road, Canada.
Canandiwa, I think.
Canandiwa.
Canandiwa. I hope my
not a clue where it is, man. This is on the NYS Hunting and Fishing
page.
Yeah. So yeah, you've plenty of time for that yet. I'm not sure how many people from the lakes here will be heading over to it, but it's going to be something interesting. So you've got there's business vendors, so there's crafts alley. There's heaps of stuff going on there for archery,
look at this, man.
Camping.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think this is fucking brilliant. Like, why can't we have one of these over?
Well.
Say no more. We'll keep that one now.
We'll keep that. We'll say nothing about that now yet. Yeah.
Hunting, fishing, archery, boating, camping, timber sport, sawmilling.
Like that.
You'd be a good sawmiller.
Man, I'd love that.
You'd the head of an old logger.
I would that. I'd horse that timber clean out. I wouldn't even use a saw. I'd bite it. Jeez, man, that'd be class. That
wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Power equipment and power sports. For jizz to be
forestry. Oh man, there's nothing about that. There's absolutely nothing about that.
Big diesel fumes, guns.
Yeah. Everything that's
good about life.
Yeah, it's good about life. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. So that's another one. That's a good one for all our American listeners and Canadian listeners and stuff. Yeah, that's on. So have a look on that on the
page,
Facebook page. Yeah,
brilliant.
Shin, come here. We're heading over to Navan tomorrow to do our vermin count for the Game Council. So yeah, it should be interesting. Can't wait for that. We had our quarterly meeting on what night was that? Wednesday night in Navan. That was interesting as always. Some very spirited people out there. Ross came with me.
Yeah,
first time ever.
Good stuff.
Ross came with me, and I'm going to be straight out, man. This is a fact. I'd say let me see. No more than 7 minutes after the meeting had started, he was fast asleep.
He's doing well.
He done well, but I swear there's something wrong with that lad. He just falls asleep the whole time. I think we spoke about it in some other podcasts.
In his defence.
Yeah, I know.
In his defence.
There was a lad even sitting beside him. He looked at me and started laughing. I says, "Oh, that's just Ross." Yeah, he fell fucking asleep. Man.
Yeah, you want to do like William Wallace. Go pick a fight. Keep it interesting.
Oh, jeez, it's interesting. There's lots of stuff going on in the NRGC, man. There's lots of they're changing around. They're becoming a sort of a limited company, and
yeah, I think that's to probably hopefully give them a little bit more bite. You know, and to try and get us a little bit grounded in terms of. I presume the legal challenges and stuff that which will be required in the upcoming years. And I'm sure there's other reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think there's changes afoot, and I think hopefully change for the better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
The vermin count, what way, who stored? Do you have a big freezer then to store it? Or?
So, yeah, we've a freezer. Damien has a freezer that we store all our stuff, but then it's one of the club members. I think he's a member of the Oriel Gun Club. It's over around Colin. He's a farmer, so he gives up their yard, so it's on from 9:30 till 12:30 tomorrow. Yeah. So we got to head over there. Myself and Ross are going to head over and hand in all our stuff, and then they'll count up all your pints and let you know how you done. And yeah, it's good crack.
Do you have them bagged and numbered, or what way is it? Yeah,
you have to do it later on. Yeah, you have to bring them all out and count them all up and stuff. So I'd say we won't be far off. Probably 70 foxtails, I'd say.
Here's a trick, right? And it's only from what I do. And it's only for the last couple of years. But do you know get all the lads to save? You know, all through the year the bags off the bread. You know, sliced pan. Yeah.
Yes.
Turn them inside out. They're clear plastic on the inside out, right?
Yes.
And I just put mags and just put like dashes beside it and permanent marker. So as you're putting them in, when you have 10, tie a knot in it, and you have bags of 10. Saves you fucking
that's true.
Fluting around.
That's a good idea,
it's a horrible job, man.
Yeah, I know. Sure. It's horrible. It's just one more job.
Some of them wouldn't be.
Wouldn't be great condition. No, they would not.
They'd be stuck together and everything. So Jesus. So we try and separate the mags, the greys, the tails, and the mink, and then it just leaves it then that I think it's the whole mink, isn't it?
I don't know that. I've never handed in a mink. I don't know if we've ever handed in a mink. Yeah. They're looking at some of the pint systems, so I think it's 20 pints for grey crow, magpie and a fox, and 40 for a mink.
Okay, that's slightly different.
I think that's the way it is now. I had the sheet here and I don't know where I put it, but I think it's something along the lines of that anyway.
Ours goes mink, fox, grey, mag.
So the mag and that are less than a fox?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think ours are the same. Pretty sure they're the same. And it was actually interesting because one of the lads in the meeting brought it up. He said, should we look at that again? Do we need to look at that again? Because then squirrels are like only 10, I think.
Yeah. I've never shot a squirrel.
No, fucking no, me neither, no. But so anyway, that's going to head over there tomorrow and do that.
I seen on just on the American pages, they create little like feeders, bird tables, and then they do like what Giannis does, sits up in a deck chair and
shoots them off. No way. It was fucking Jack to put it into my head. I'm mad to taste it. I really want to taste it. Yeah,
I would love it.
I really, really want to taste some of it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was just looking through the registry from last year's vermin count, and like some of the clubs, like I think say if there's 30 clubs in Meath, I don't think there is, but say if there is, 2 of them handed in grey crow or grey squirrels, but one of them was like 60 grey squirrels. So I was just like, where is that?
Huge,
huge
woodland
numbers. Yeah. But so we're going to do that. Another quick one. I don't know if I sent on to you. I seen a video on it. It was like all things foxes or something. It's some of these fox fucking fanatics over in the UK. But it'll be tying in. The reason I mentioned it now is they had it up and they asked the question, could people tell us what are these things on its back?
Covered in ticks.
Covered. Did you see it?
No, but I've seen other
ticks, man. Absolutely covered in them, yeah. So, just watch yourselves if you're out there after foxes, not just deer they're going to be on. No,
I know, look, we're going to speak with David from Rovince there in a while, but I think we were chatting kind of before, like, why are they so much more prevalent? Like, you know what I mean? Years ago, you got 1 or 2 ticks in the year, but like there's people getting, like, they're talking about, people being covered in ticks, 20 ticks on their arm and stuff, like, and I think in Scotland and stuff, it used to be a huge problem up there around on the deer up there. So, but I think it's we're far more condensed. So anywhere there is kind of you even take foxes, the fox populations, like we're taking out of our club, which is a very small area.
Yeah.
same as your own, relative to the area you're in. It's only a couple of 100 acres, so it's only a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
Look at the foxes you're taking out.
Yeah.
So that shows you how condensed these are. And the very minute you take them out, there's more coming in.
Yeah.
So like you can imagine areas that are not shot or not where numbers, and then with deer as well, up in Wicklow, are like, Jesus, it's so condensed. The ticks basically have a free reign. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah. I just seen a video. They have a way now that they calculate the amount of ticks in an area, and they get a white bed sheet, and they tie a stick on either end of it, and they go along long grass, and they measure the distance. Now I can't remember what it said. It's 2 meters, and they drag it through the long grass. And so say the area of the sheet is, I don't know, just say for instance 2 square meters. Just say for argument's sake, and then to drag it to a certain distance, then they count the ticks it's on it, and then they're able to add it out and work it out. We've actually
how much per square yard, meter, how much per square mile or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Even speaking with David there, like where I suppose in the lead up to the interview today, like there's places where you could go a kilometre that way and little or no ticks, and then you go that way and high concentration of them. And there's no scientific reason, well, there obviously is, but there's none that we know of yet, why they're so concentrated in one area and not in another.
Yes, yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird as well. Like, you take the festivals that are going on over the weekend and stuff like that.
Honestly, that's a fucking very good one, actually. That is a good one. They're going to be there.
Absolutely.
Same as if we're up. Yeah, that's a fucking good one when you think about stuff like that now.
So it's not, because like I think there's just, maybe it's like, when you red Range Rovers or something, you don't notice them, but once you know it's one, you see 10.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I come up on Facebook there, a local man in Kilcockerting has been sent over to Germany at the minute for treatment.
I read that.
Did you read it as well?
He's a really young fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met that on the
he's in bad shape.
Mead Chronicle. He's around Summerhill, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in bad shape with it. Poor lad,
so
yeah.
It just shows you, man, this is, not that we're trying to, frighten anyone, but
no,
it's more for, just to recognise, I suppose, that it's far more common than it used to be.
It used to be, yeah.
It's far more prevalent.
It is. I think, I know they're completely separate. The symptoms are different, and the severity and the time frame is different. But like, everyone is so aware of leptospirosis or Weil's disease, and you could argue. I'm not saying, I know Weil's disease, it can kill you very quickly. But it's still Lyme's disease. It can be severe, and it can leave you with life-altering conditions. And but very few people seem to know fuck all about it.
I posted yesterday. I was trying to come up with a name for it because I was looking at him saying, "What would you call this little fuck?"
Yeah.
And it's a silent assassin, isn't it? Like it's not like when you could kind of gauge where rats will be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you lift up that shed there, and chances are, you know what I mean. So you're kind of wary of it, or around food stuff rotting.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just you could be out a walk in the forest and get one of these. Your dogs. You bring your dog for a walk, come back in.
Yeah, but I was just thinking there as well. I was just looking at my own dog, man. Like, he's kind of longish hair. He's a fucking, what is he? What's James? James, fuck you, man. He's class. He is. My head is completely gone, man.
He's sandy brown colour.
He's sandy brown colour. Cocker spaniel. Jesus, my head. He's a cocker spaniel. But it would not be easy to spot a tick in him, man.
Not. I'd say now you would be.
You'd be struggling now.
You'd be
struggling. Definitely be struggling. Yeah.
You might have some chance against the colour of his hair, but like
maybe, but like if he's under, he'd be in under the hair.
Yeah, you want to be checking regularly, and like that. I'm looking out the back here. You've Meadow out the back. If he runs out there 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, honest to God.
And how many people bring their dogs for walks in parks and you let them off the leash and hush through the forestry there?
Bring them home and never.
It is. We don't. So silent assassin, I think, is the correct name for these little feckers, because even when you get bit, you might not know you get bit, and then the symptoms are kind of, they're not instantaneous.
No, and they can resemble it.
You know what I mean? And then they start to grow on you, essentially. So it's fucking,
and they can resemble so many other fucking things as well.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, it is scary. But so that's why. Hence, we're kind of doing a bit of a two-part on it here, and. I put a video up last night on our next Let's Talk Gear. We will have a bit of a demo done on our Rovince flex line trousers and stuff, and we'll be giving our thoughts on them and see how it goes.
But yeah, no, it's a valid topic. I think that as well. Just with like what you're at there, you're doing your vermin count and vermin control. There's lads out now with pens and stuff with poles being released and stuff like that. And you're out in the grass is the growth is heavy. You've no other choice to walk through it. So they have a kind of a free rein. So it's very important. We probably check, I suppose.
Yeah.
Number one, we'll be getting on top of it as well, just in terms of what we can do preventive wise. Look, even we're going to be talking about the Rovince clothing. Obviously, there's and David will explain better than I, the technology behind it and what it does. Mm-hmm. But in the interim, while you're ordering it or getting it or out, like long sleeve, shirt if you can, tucked into the a pair of gloves. You know what I'm saying, and just try and and then a tick remover. I've actually asked TikTok Ireland. There's loads of information there as to what to do and what not to do if you get a bite or if you think you've got a bite. Mm-hmm. Even when you remove the tick, don't obviously squeeze it. That's what people do, to kill it, because it regurgitates its contents. And that's where you get the
bacteria.
So you try and remove it, and they've little demonstration videos on their page, and there's little tick removers that you can get, little tools. I'm going to get one for just having it in the jacket. And then put the little beggar in a plastic bag and freeze it, because it's much easier to test it than to try and diagnose you.
Holy shit! Didn't know that one.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So you can put him in a freezer bag, freeze him.
Yeah.
Mark him obviously in a sealed vacuum sealer. The automatic reaction is to try and get it out of you instantly.
Instantly,
which, if you don't have the proper implement to do it, is wrong. Mm-hmm. So get to a place where you can remove it quick enough but safe enough. Yeah. And then into a freezer bag, lock it, and then if you've obviously get your GP and so on, get treated. But if it's a case then that you start to develop some symptoms, then you have your bag, obviously date it. Would be handy, and they can test that tick then very quickly.
Holy shit, okay, so it's easier. That's good. I didn't know that.
So there you go.
I did not know that. Be very good, very good. Right, so we better bring this interview with...
Here's David. Good
David
guy.
Or Darren? Darren.
David.
Is it?
Darren.
Pretty sure it's Darren.
Darren, I am. Sorry. But you're going to have to... just going to have to excuse me
today. It's been a long week, man. You're tired. It's okay. We'll bring you this anyway. Here we go.
Sorry, Darren.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Untethered and Wanderwise, where adventure has no age limit. We're your co-host, Heidi Brandist and Nikki Amahundro, and we're here to inspire and celebrate women over 45 who are embracing their independence and want to explore the world on their own terms.
Darren Bullock, welcome to the Irish Hunting Podcast. How are you keeping?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm keeping well, thank you. And how are you guys? You okay?
We're good. I'm flying solo here today. My co-host is down the far end of the country. Picking up some of your fine gear down there. So we're he's en route back up. So he's entrusted me with this. So if it goes wrong, it's my fault. It's all on my shoulders.
Well, I'm glad to hear he's going down to pick some of the gear up, and I'll be looking forward to seeing how you guys get on with it.
Yeah, we can't wait. So we'll probably look at, I suppose we'll start at the very start. Darren, give us a little bit of background. Hunter, fisherman, boat, none?
No, I'm a passionate hunter. I've been all my life, starting off as a young boy with a air rifle and a catapult, as we all did. Now moving on to where I am now, where I do a fair amount of game shooting, deer stalking and pest control. I manage the deer and pests on sort of several estates and properties. So pretty busy with it and getting involved deeply.
Yes.
Which is obviously where the connection comes from with the clothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm out sort of, I don't know, some weeks I'm out 3-4 times a week, getting stuck in and my hands dirty. So I know a fair bit about it.
you're one of the lucky guys who actually gets to do their hobby, pastime / passion, and their job, and interconnect the two of them, which is a nice place to be.
Yeah, well, it is at the moment. It is at the moment, but we're obviously we're getting busy, but we're busy with everything.
Yes,
whether it's the birds coming in or the deer needing shooting or managing.
Yeah,
we're busy. We're busy.
And come here, how did you start hunting, Darren? Was it a family thing? Was it passed down from a generation above, or was it just something you were into?
Yeah, well, it was passed down, but it was passed down in my case from my granddad.
Okay.
He worked on a farm, and I used to knock about with him when I was really young and help him setting his snares and one thing and another. My immediate family, my mum and dad, my dad was into football, and my brothers were all into football, and I was sort of the odd one out. So when they were out watching the match, I was out with my air rifle. So
very good. Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones now, man, because I think like when myself and Brenny started this, we were big advocates of getting out in nature, getting out in the woods or around the lake, or just getting grounded, as we call it over here. But I think it's a wonderful passion to have, and we're lucky to be doing what we're doing, you know.
Oh, most definitely. And we need to cherish it and keep it going.
Absolutely. On that note, how are you finding? I suppose we follow with interest across the water. You've huge deer populations over there, obviously, and you've a slightly different variation on the species we have over here. So we have obviously red, sika, and fallow. You guys have a little bit more choice over there.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. 6 species of deer in the UK. Obviously, things that you haven't got, like the Chinese water deer and the muntjac.
Yes.
Muntjac especially, very invasive and very problematic to manage.
Okay.
You know, when you first get into them, you think they're nice to see about and these are great, but then when you've got to start managing them, they're really painful.
Yes. Yeah.
They're hard to stalk. They never stand still. They never do anything that you want them to do. And their numbers increase massively. And come here, they're I heard one guy describe them. They're like a fox on steroids. They reckon, you know, they're as quick and nimble, and as you say, very hard to stalk in on. But very, and probably for that reason, then their numbers are quite hard to control. I think we have a small population over here. Little pockets. You know, it's one of my dreams actually to get a little bit of shooting on a muntjac. But a lovely looking deer, beautiful looking deer, interesting species, and especially the water deer. I think there's something prehistoric about them guys. Oh, there is, most definitely. I mean, when you look at all the deer species, they're 2 different deer completely on their own. You know, I mean,
yes,
the way they react and what they do is totally different. Obviously, going back to the muntjac there, I mean, they breed all year round, so the numbers, you know, there's not seasons, as you're probably aware. There's not seasons like with all the other deer species. So they breed constantly. The female doe's pretty much always pregnant, really.
Wow. So that's what, and would the muntjac especially, they give, I suppose, the farmers in the countryside the most problems there, I suppose, do they?
Well, yeah, they can do, just purely because of the way they increase in numbers. So, you know, you've got a little block of woodland and you've got a few knocking about, and then if you don't keep on top of them, the numbers escalate.
Okay, wow.
You know, and they browse heavily as well. So, yeah, they have the same effect.
Yes, yeah. And come here, do you do any game shooting then in terms of pheasant or duck, or is it predominantly deer?
Yeah, no, well, it is at this time of year, but we move into the game shooting later on. I help run a little pheasant shoot locally.
Okay.
So I do a bit of keepering on that as well. We get our birds in sort of towards the end of July as poults, and we run a syndicate off of that, and that keeps me busy in the winter.
Busy would be an understatement there, Darren. If you're like ourselves here, there's not a minute in the day that doesn't consume some element, or you're taking a phone call to deal with a problem or try and sort something out. So yeah, we all know that story. But look, as I say, it's a great passion to have, you know. Great passion to have. I suppose that feeds on, and that gives a great grounding into the business, obviously, that you're involved in. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in that end of the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, as everybody's aware now who's into this sort of thing, the tick numbers have been increasing over the last decade or so. You know, and they were increasing at one point to the point where it became a real concern. You know, we've always been concerned about ticks, and we've always been aware of them. And we go back sort of 15, 20 years. When we used to go to Scotland, you changed the way you stalked. You were conscious of ticks and you was aware of ticks. But back home down here in the Midlands, you weren't too worried about it because there was very few ticks about.
Yeah.
But ticks increased, and they increased to the point where we started to become really concerned, as everybody is, you know, because obviously some of the diseases, Lyme in particular, that everybody talks about, it can be life-changing. So you need to take serious consideration. To the point where when we would be out, we'd be, as everybody does, we'd be spraying potions on ourselves, and we'd be coating ourselves in all sorts of things to try and protect ourselves as best we could, to the point where when we were on the way to the stalking ground, you know, if someone lit a cigarette, we'd probably blow the car up. And that's how we dealt with it. But that in itself caused us problems, because you quite often get somewhere you wouldn't have your sprays with you, or you forgot to put it on in the morning because you was in a rush. And it meant that your day would be sort of spent mainly concerned about ticks rather than deer.
Yeah.
And then it all sort of come to a head when a friend of mine, I was out with him, and we'd been successful. So we went back to his property and we larded the deer that we'd got, and everything was okay. And I headed off home. And then the following morning, he was on the phone to me and he said, "Oh my God, Darren," he says, "I've woke up this morning and my daughter was playing out in the garden and she's come in and she's got a tick on her leg." And then that really hit home to us. We thought, well, hang on a minute. We choose to do this. You know, it's what we do, and we choose to do it. But in this case, his daughter obviously had been sort of an innocent party.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously when we'd dragged these deer through and larded them in his back garden there, we'd obviously left some ticks lying about, and there'd been tick activity in the garden that wouldn't normally be. So that got me to thinking then. I mean, everybody carried on, but I got thinking, and I was looking for a solution. And then we had some German guys over talking with us, and they were wearing the Rovince clothing.
Okay.
And we went out, and I said, "Guys, you know about ticks, you're from Germany. They've got a big tick burden as well. I said, obviously be careful, be vigilant, and check yourselves." And they said, no, we don't have to worry. We wear this clothing. And I thought, no, come on, guys. No, these are serious, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we spent a few days with them, and obviously they didn't have no ticks on them. I thought, you know, this is something to look at.
Yeah.
So I then set up my mission to contact the guys in Holland, and see if we could look at it and go further.
Okay.
I started wearing it myself, and I wore it for about probably 2 years before I even began to consider selling it. You know, I thought,
give this a good test. Yeah,
let's check this out and see if it does work, and it did work. And I got the lads in it, and we all started wearing it, and everybody was giving positive results. This is really working well.
Just on that, I know we spoke a little bit off air, you know, about, you know, obviously the increase in amount of numbers and why that is, and we all have our kind of, you know, our what would you say, unscientific reasons why we feel that they might be on the increase. Climate being obviously one of them, and you know, the transient nature of you know, of busy countryside now and so on. But I suppose we discussed it last week on the podcast with Barry Dunn, you know, who's a sufferer of Lyme disease, you know, and a very good friend of Brendan's. And, you know, this just highlights what this disease can actually do to you. You know, it's not a case, and I think there is a little bit of a mindset change required here, because, and I speak for myself. I said on air last week, and I said to Brenny off air as well, you know, when I was growing up, you know, you came in with a tick, and, you know, the mom got the hot knife and ticked it off, and you were sent back out, you know, like, because there was a, you know, and it was, we kind of grew up with that kind of, what would you say? Do you know what I mean? They won't do me any harm, because it was very rare you came across them, and the chances of then getting probably a disease out of them were a lot less than they were now, you know, and obviously we're a little bit less educated as we are now. But I think with that, we need, there's a mindset change required that hopefully through the podcast and hopefully through our chat here, we might be able to get the word out, you know, that this is an extremely debilitating disease. It stops people in their tracks, and And you spoke about Germany there. There's people on flights today. I just said on my phone this morning on the way over there to try and get treatment. So it's not a myth. It's not just any old disease. It's unseen. It can't be easily detected. A little bit easier now. All right, but so it's of ultimate importance that guys like yourself with products like yours are in the market, are available to hunters.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. I mean, you're dead right. I spend probably more time educating people and discussing it and making people aware, because it's awareness that's key.
Yeah.
I spend more time doing that than I do probably selling the product.
Yes.
Because I'm not passionate about making a big business out of it. I'm more passionate about protecting guys and giving people the knowledge and the understanding. It's like you say, it's not scaremongering, it's not worrying people. It's out there, and knowledge is key. You need to know what you're looking for. You need to know what you're doing, and if there's protection out there, then use it.
Use it. Yeah, definitely.
You're dead right.
Yeah, and I think, look, I hands up. I was one of them guys. I said it to you off air. I was one of them guys who throw a deer on my back. When I was going to grolic the deer, the jacket came off, and do you know what I mean? The knife came out, and you were grolicking in your t-shirt, and this was what would you say, the way I learned. It wasn't. But that mindset has to be changed now, because I spoke to you last year. The amount of ticks on deers, and as Barry rightly said, they're showing up on birds now as well. So this is a problem that's not going away anytime soon. So we need to try and deal with it as best we can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, going back to when we used to go to Scotland back in the old days, we'd come in off the hill after an eventful stalk usually, and you'd sit there with the stalker, and he'd be sitting there with his dram of whiskey, just picking ticks off his arm, and just picking them off casually, not taking any notice. Obviously, we all know now that you need to take notice. If you've got
absolutely
on you need to get it off effectively and correctly. And the old methods that the old boys used to use are not good. They're no good.
No good. No.
It's changed.
Exactly. And look at it as I know a few German hunters like that. If they say that they take their hunting serious, so like what you said when you were chatting with them, probably no more than myself, you'd be kind of saying that couldn't be correct. A piece of clothing that would stop what would you say, a microscopic insect bite. You'd be skeptical, to say the least, I suppose.
Yeah, most definitely, and I was. That's why we spent so much time wearing it ourselves. Initially, just for our own protection, and then when I realised this really does work and it's good, it was only then that we decided to make it available for everybody that was into outdoor sports.
Okay, and so tell us, I suppose, Darren, from toe to top, what's available in the range, and what does the product do? More importantly.
Yeah, well, obviously the range is relatively small compared to clothing manufacturers.
Yeah,
we dedicate the whole range, and we're I would say we're the market leader in anti-tick clothing, because it's all we do. So we haven't got a vast catalogue of clothing, and then we do a few lines of anti-tick to obviously make money out of it.
Yeah.
We dedicate the whole range to tick protection. So we do 3 or 4 different styles of trousers. We do 3 or 4 different tops, polo shirts, lightweight shirts. We do a zip pullover. We do fleeces, and we do soft shell outer jacket.
Okay.
So it's a small range. It's the bits that you need, but it's all anti-tick. So it's completely dedicated to tick protection.
So it's like Ron Seal. It does exactly what it says in the tin. It
certainly does.
Simple, effective. We're not here for a fashion parade. We're here to stop stop these ticks in their tracks. And how effective is it, Darren? Like, in your experience, you went out. You said, talk us back to the first time you went out with it. Have you seen ticks on the clothing themselves fall off? What's the experience?
Yeah, I've seen the reaction, as most people would do, that obviously the clothing gives. and I've seen a massive reduction in ticks.
Okay.
I think in sort of 10 years, I've possibly had 2 ticks myself,
Okay.
whereas I'd be having 2 or 3 a month,
Yeah.
or sometimes 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah.
But now my last one actually was last year, and it was after we'd come up from down south, stuck in stags, and we'd got some heads with us, and I actually got the tick in the evening when I was dropping the head off to be prepared at my guy that does my heads for me. So I wasn't in the clothing, but it was lousy while we were down there. So the problem there is there was a secondary effect there. I wasn't vulnerable in the field in that case. I was vulnerable when I was driving to my guy that does my heads for me, and I wasn't in the protection.
Yes.
But across a lot of my guys are professional guys, professional users, as you'd expect. That are really thick in with it. I've seen some fantastic results. Going from hundreds of ticks a year to 1s and 2s and the odd one.
Yeah.
We do like to say to everybody, be aware. I mean, obviously, nothing's 100%.
No.
Nothing's 100%, and everybody must understand that. But what it does do is it gives you, we call it a put on and go solution. So whereas before you'd get your clothing on, you prepare yourself, you'd spray yourself, and you'd be looking at different forms of protection. You put your clothing on, and you're ready to go, and you get on with it. Obviously, you're still vigilant at the end of the day, and we still tell everybody to be careful. But it's a mindset. It changes the way you operate.
Yeah, well, look, we all enjoy our hunting, so there's nothing. I suppose it's like there's we do what we do because of a love of outdoors, and it's kind of, if you have to put on clothing and spray yourself and put gloves on and put all this kind of extra layers and stuff, it kind of takes away from the whole, the ideology that we originally loved and bought into as kids and teenagers and so on. It's kind of like it's the opposite end of it, isn't it? It's the sciencey bit, which we didn't really want to. We like the nature stuff. So if you can just grab the jacket and head on out the door, that's a plus in my book anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. That's why we call it the put on and go solution, really.
And come here, explain a little bit about the technology then, Darren. How does it work? How does it do what it says it does?
Well, the product's treated with a permethrin treatment. Now, permethrin's been used since the late 70s, I believe, and it was originally brought out for military use in clothing. Obviously, soldiers were wearing it, and there was a lot of development. Permethrin's very effective against ticks, and it's a serious product. Obviously, what these guys do that's different is they lock it into the fabric with the polymer. So the polymer does 2 things. First of all, it gives a slow release, which is effective against ticks for the user. And secondly, it locks it in so you can wash the product, and it doesn't just disappear after a couple of washes. You get between 70 to 100 washes off the garment.
Okay, in that is that's a fantastic. What would you say? Comfort, like I would have been thinking maybe, does this after 10 washes, maybe does it, or even less, does its effectiveness wane? But obviously not as quickly as I would have initially thought. Yeah. And for hunters as well, I suppose. Look, I get a couple of wears out of my hunting equipment like that, because they're never too far away from especially during hunting season. You're always hoping that you're going to get it back out again tomorrow, so you don't want to be seen hanging on the clothesline. So that's a nice bit of wear from the garment.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, most hunters. I mean, I'm probably one of the worst for it. Some of my gear, I could whistle it and then jump, come over, and I could get in it, because I wash it only when I need to. But we also supply into professional organisations. So obviously, if you're using it as more of a workwear product, then obviously, clearly, you are going to be washing it weekly, and it's part of your workwear situation. So the washing's consideration does become important then.
Yeah, and look, that there's an aspect that we probably don't think of. I suppose we as hunters, obviously that's only one aspect, but we've there's farmers out there going around the countryside all day, every day. There's rangers, park rangers, etc. you have members of the the OPW and stuff like that over here, which would look after kind of waterways and stuff like that, old bridges and so on, and we'll be out in nature quite a bit. So this is beneficial, probably not only to hunters, but for people who work in the outdoors consistently.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, one of my worst sort of stories I heard was actually off a forestry worker that was out deep in the forest streaming a ride, and he stopped counting nearly 100 ticks, and he was still taking them off himself at the end of the day. Obviously out in that environment all day with a strimmer, and obviously going through some big areas, because it's weird. Obviously, anybody who's aware of ticks, you can have a parcel of ground that's really, really got a heavy tick burden, and then you can be not that far away and not see hardly any ticks at all. But if you're in a hot spot, then you could be talking about considerable numbers.
And we don't actually know why that is, Darren. Like that, we would see it here. You come across a deer, say in one piece of ground, and it would be absolutely walking with ticks.
Yeah.
And a couple of kilometers away, you would be straining to see one on the deer, and that's how, I suppose, how much how little we know about these, why they do this type of thing, why they're accelerating at the numbers they are. Don't really have the answers to it, but they're certainly up to something recently. I think we both chatted off air. We're far more visible than I would remember as a child, anyway.
Yeah. Well, that like you've just said there, it brings its own problem, because if you're a visiting stalker to a new piece of ground, you don't really know what you're heading into. Is it one of these pieces of ground that's lousy? I've got estates that I visit that even on the same estate, you've got one block of woodland one place we call it tick wood.
Tickwood.
Because it's absolutely lousy with it. We know that, but if you was a novice, or if you was a recreational walker or mountain biker or hill walker going through there, and you weren't aware of what we class as tick wood, you'd be putting yourself at risk. But then there's other parts of the estate that on the same estate, on the same ground, where like you just said, you barely see them. So it's strange. I don't think anybody can answer that, why there is heavy numbers in certain areas.
And what do you know, Darren? Like, this is, I suppose, something that fascinates me. The more we kind of go down the rabbit hole, but out of it's not every tick bite that you might develop something like Lyme's or adverse reactions. Do we know what is it? What is the ratio in the tick population, or do we know how much, or percentage wise, ticks that carry the diseases we're talking about, and how they become, like Barry was saying, you remember when a tick is kind of, you see it and it's kind of buried in you, and you can see them after kind of like almost burrowing in, but sometimes it doesn't even require that. You might just get a little nip of one, and he might head off in his merry way, and you could be left with all the ill effects, because he, as he said, he doesn't rightly remember when he got the bite, so that is a worrying aspect of it too, isn't it?
Well, it is a worrying aspect, and I'm aware of people over here in the UK that have suffered with tick-borne disease. Obviously, Lyme is the one we talk about mainly, and like you've just said there, they weren't actually aware. I mean, these are not hunted. I mean, there's one girl I know that was just at a music festival, and she wasn't aware of the tick bite site. She wasn't even aware she'd been bitten. But obviously, then when she started to become ill, that's when the diagnosis becomes difficult, because you can't even lead them to the fact that you've been bitten by a tick. So there's real concerns. But with ticks, one of the key things is, if you've got one on you, the sooner you can get it off properly and effectively, the better. The longer it's on, obviously, the more risk of any disease being transmitted.
And I suppose, just on that, what is the most effective way to get a tick, if a tick is on your skin, in your experience?
Well, we use the Atomo tick twister type thing, the same sort of thing that you get from the vets for your dogs and all the rest of it. I've used that for years. There's various other products out there. and people use all sorts.
Yeah.
And I believe if you got to the point where you went to the hospital, they'd probably use fine nose tweezers. But obviously in the right hands, in the right method,
Yeah.
correct removal is massively important.
So-
One of the key things I always say to people is, don't mess with the tick. If you find one on yourself and you haven't got a tool to hand, or you haven't got someone capable of taking it off, leave it and get yourself immediately to somewhere where you can sort it out. Because the more you mess with it, once the tick feels that it's threatened in any way, and obviously thinking, hang on a minute, I need to get out of here and find a new host, then there's always a massive risk that it's going to regurgitate its stomach content, which goes straight into you as it retracts itself to get off.
Yeah.
So you're better off leaving it well alone. Obviously not for weeks and weeks and weeks. You need to act very quickly.
Yeah.
But leave it alone. Get some a proper tool. Get it off as quickly as you can. Then after, but don't mess with it. Don't mess with it.
So I suppose the advice probably we give on the back of this is, obviously get to have a remover on you, on your person. The clothing is your primary backup. Your remover is if like in your case, you've a head going back to the taxidermist, or you've inadvertently like as that probably presents another parks and stuff like that. If there was ticks to become concentrated in a park, and so on, you've dogs and people. You could pick one up quite there. If you don't have the tick remover, is the next best thing, and then obviously seek professional help and get the relevant treatment as quickly as is possible. I think
Yeah, well, most definitely. Like I said, key and knowledge is the key here. Really, knowledge is the key. And if everybody's aware of the correct procedures and what to do and how to act, you're relatively safe. People shouldn't be scared to go out in the countryside. We love it and we need to continue doing it.
Yeah.
It's just a case of being vigilant and being aware of what's out there and what you need to do if you come across them and that you actually get bitten.
And then I suppose like the clothing, like obviously this is not this is not going to be out of people's price range in terms of like we as hunters, we all know a good hunting pant or a soft shell jacket. But give us, I'm not going to hold you to exact figures, but price point roughly what you're looking at for a trousers, maybe in a soft shell for the average hunter.
Well, it's very reasonable, to be honest with you. Obviously, we all become clothing sort of focused with outdoor. There's some very good gear out there, but our range in particular, as an example, our best trouser. We got two good trousers, but our sort of original and best selling trouser is the Ergoline. That retails in the UK at £120.
Okay.
The Flex Line trouser, which is same principle, but obviously, as it says, it's got flexible panels, so it gives you more flexibility in the field. That's £114. Wow. So our dearest trouser is 120, which is very reasonable.
Absolutely.
Soft shells come in at around about £95. So very reasonable, functional outdoor clothing with the added value of the anti-tick protection.
Well, look at I suppose from my perspective, I would have paid that for a standard trousers, in the past, and probably a little bit more. And like that, then you mentioned there all the potions and stuff that you just spray on yourself and hope that they work. So to get a kind of an all inclusive product, I suppose it's that's very reasonable, and over the 70, 80, 90 washes, I think money well spent.
Yes. Yeah. There were a couple of key things to remind people of should they ever get into the gear. Like washing, we get 70 to 100 washes. It's quite important not to tumble dry them or iron them. Okay. Tumble drying is something people might do. I don't know many people that iron their hunting gear, but you never know.
You never know.
And obviously the reason for this is because the product's in a polymer. If you heat that polymer up, it becomes stretchy and it relaxes and it lets the product out.
Okay.
So we recommend no tumble dry, do not iron, and we also say wash on a cool wash with a non-bio, like you would any decent outdoor gear that you have in your wardrobe.
Yeah, look, that was my next question, I suppose. But, a low temperature will probably preserve the life of the product that little bit longer, I would imagine.
Yeah. See, the polymer also acts. To give you an example, if you got an area that's got a lot of water running through it, so you're regularly going across burns and streams, that doesn't act as a wash. It's detergent that affects it. So the detergent's what's going to be stripping it out. If you're standing in a stream and you've got water rushing past you, it's not running out of the product. It stays in the product.
Okay.
It's locked in. Yeah.
Very good.
It's not as bad for the environment as people might all of a sudden think. You're relatively safe.
And come here, that's probably one of the things. I was doing a little bit of research on the product, for last while, and it's not. Because obviously the product on its own, in terms of that's interwoven in the fiber, it's not a it's a chemical, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not the way it's intertwined in the clothing is not detrimental to health of the user. So it's detrimental to the tick, but not to the user, obviously. So it's not adverse in any way to the health of the user, which is obviously very important.
Yeah, well, that was part of the original testing. I mean, the guys, the company that they started with, goes back a long way, with a lot of history with military users. And the key thing was to develop something that was effective. It's got the right amount of product, so it's effective for the tick, but obviously safe for the user to wear.
Unlike some of the potions me and you were talking about off air, spraying on all over.
Yeah. Well, like I say, God forbid if anyone had lit a cigarette in the olden days, we'd have blew the truck up.
Yeah, honest to God, yeah. And come here, do you available? I suppose for our listeners over here, availability across Europe. Obviously, Highland Outdoors, I think, is one of the stockists over here. Is there online? Where can we get it?
Yeah, there's obviously a Rovince website. Highland Outdoors is the main distributor, and they distribute throughout the UK into Ireland with Old Dom, and it's also available across Europe as well.
Very good.
So if your retailers stock any of the Highland Outdoor range, then they'll be able to get hold of it, and brilliant. If not, get them to stock it.
Really, yeah, that's what it's all about. If they don't have it, ask why not. And then across the pond, then we have some very expats over in America and Canada, New Zealand, Australia, etc. Is there availability across that neck of the woods?
Not currently, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yeah,
watch
absolutely.
This space.
So that's good. Look at it. We will watch that space. I know that's one of the questions that'll be asked when we come off air. So look, it's been a brilliant chat. We're looking forward to, myself and Brenny are going to hopefully test the gear over the next couple of weeks. Put it to its test. I've a newborn baby, so I'm hoping she's going to go through the night now pretty soon, and I can get back out hunting. Any plans for the future, Darren? What's is there any plans to add to the range, expand the range, or just keep it the way it is?
No, there's always plans. We're always working on new products. Like I said at the beginning there, it is a dedicated product. I don't think we're ever going to have a huge catalogue. We offer a solution to a problem through a clothing range, and that's what we'll always do. But we're always looking at new ranges. We're looking at new avenues, workwear, for example, high vis, different sort of protection as well in the working environment. So the products will increase, and there will always be new products available. We're working on them all the while.
Brilliant. And just, I suppose, on the product itself, just before I in terms of the t-shirts, or you mentioned the polo shirt. So the if somebody is out in the they're doing a bit of rough shooting, we're in that kind of clammy weather that we're in now. The tick lands on the t-shirt, it almost instantly falls off. Is that correct? That's the way it interacts with the product.
Well, kind of. I mean, obviously, it's dependent upon the tick. Some we found through the testing that we've done. I mean, I've done a lot of testing and a lot of messing around myself. certain ticks. Some are more resilient to others. But basically, what you get is you get two things that happen. One's a knockdown effect, so it shuts the nervous system down. And then the other thing is what we call a hot foot effect. There's various videos on YouTube that we've got that show it, where the tick sort of looks like it's dancing on the product, because it's feeling sort of a heat transition from it. But if you know a bit about ticks, their sensory organs are on their front legs. So when you see a sort of wildlife image of ticks, generally it's on a blade of grass and it's waving its front legs around. That's because that's where its sensory organs are. They're called the Heller organs. So they're always poking about, looking for the next host and looking for something to feed off. So as soon as it touches the fabric and the sensory organs touch the fabric, that's where it gets the nervous system shut down. So that's what we call the knockdown effect. Some ticks might hang around a little bit longer, but basically, once the nervous system shut down, they're pretty useless for fighting. And in general, they will then ping off.
So he or she lands on he, she, or they, as we have to say now.
Yes,
lands on your fabric, and they don't like it one bit. So they're going to be looking for a new home pretty quickly. But I suppose we need to be aware as well that, you know, obviously it's reliant on interaction with the fabric. So the point I was probably trying to get at, you know, we still have to change that a little bit of mentality, I suppose, in terms of I'm sorry, there my video just went there for a second, Darren. Sorry there.
Yeah, I've still got you.
Yeah, so yeah, we have to get probably that message across as well, and this is probably from my own benefit, I suppose, is that you know, you're still susceptible to the bite on the arm if you're in a t-shirt, etc. So we need to try and get clothed up as best we can when we're out in the outdoors.
Yeah, well, definitely. This is one of the reasons why we say it's not 100%, because you could be wearing the trousers, for example, and you could be lying down in the grass waiting for a shot, and your upper body's not protected. So you could obviously get ticked off your upper body. Obviously, the worst case scenario is someone who purchases a pair of socks and then thinks that they're going to be protected from ticks. You know, ticks can be at all levels in the outdoors, and depending on what you're doing, if you're crawling about, you know, you could have them in your ear, on your eyelid, in your hairline. So you still need to be vigilant. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So it's, as you said, it's a 99% product. It's not the 100%. We need to still be vigilant, still have your tool on you. But this will give you a very, very effective first line of defense against these nasty little buggers, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. You've hit the nail on the head there. Like you say, it's not 100%. Nobody would ever say anything is, but it really changes the way that you operate, because you feel more protected, and you are protected.
Yeah.
But you need to be vigilant, because you only need one tick bite. You know, I've got guys that have took in their careers as everything from gamekeepers to deer stalkers and even fishing gillies that have took hundreds of ticks off themselves over the years. And most of them are okay and perfectly fine and don't have a problem. But then you hear of the odd case where, like the girl at the concert, you know, one tick on her. She doesn't operate in the outdoors. It was just a one-off situation, and that was a bad one.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could have 100 and be okay, or you could have one and it could be a real problem for you.
That's a very good point as well. Like fishermen up along the canal banks and stuff like that, they're in heavy grass, you know, and in reedy grass. Is there much of a demand coming from that corner of the market, Darren?
Yeah, we supply all. And anybody who works in the outdoors or operates in the outdoors, down to sort of surveyors, to fishermen, to gillies, to deer stalkers and gamekeepers. We supply everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
You know, because even if you're just walking through an area to do a survey on a piece of ground for building, for example, you know, you could be in tick areas on the way and on the way back. You know, like you say, on the riverbank when you're moving in and out from where you're heading. So we supply a whole host of people. Everybody's obviously deals with the outdoors.
Yeah, look, that's brilliant to know. Look, the guys, we've a strong following here of fishermen. We're building up to our next trip, so it'll be. I know it's going to be an interesting point of discussion over the next couple of weeks. We're going to keep the chat moving on this, because we feel it's probably underdiagnosed, it's under talked about, and the more we talk about it and more we get to know about it, the more the doctors are maybe. The ears will be pricked up a little bit, and we'll start to get this diagnosed a little bit earlier than what's been happening previously. And through that, and I suppose through education, we'll learn more about the disease and about the reason it's happening.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, obviously, we've noticed it here in the UK. Again, it isn't that long ago. If you went to the doctor and said you'd have a tick bite, they'd just look at you with a weird look, as if to say, "What do you want me to do about it?" Because there was no knowledge there. Over the past sort of 5 years, probably more, at this time of year, it's in the news, it's in the newspapers, it's on the radio, it's on Jeremy Vine, it's all over the place. And this awareness that we've mentioned it previously is the key thing, because now doctors are aware of it a bit more. So now, if you go to the doctors in the UK, certainly local to here, and you mention ticks, they do take it seriously now, and the knowledge is better. But it wasn't that long ago where the knowledge was poor, and there was a lot of trouble to even get someone to listen to you, let alone diagnose you.
Yeah, I think our last guest on the podcast, like that, his doctor feels that it's underdiagnosed, like to almost that exponential levels. There's people carrying this disease or diseases rather. For years and years over here, and are walking around undiagnosed. They don't know what's wrong with them. They're being treated for all different types of ailments, and it's because of obviously we're playing catch up here a little bit. But if we in the interim, until we find some sort of what would you say more long-term solution, we definitely need to protect ourselves.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, that's exactly how we've seen it here in the UK. We're ahead of the game a little bit now, but I keep going back to it. Knowledge is key, and the more people that know about it, take it seriously, and understand what risks are out there, then the better, really.
Brilliant, Darren. I would advise everyone to go on the website, have a little peek. Rovince is the name of the gear. We'll be testing it over the next couple of weeks. We'll be giving an honest review, as we always do. And we look forward to chatting to you in the future, and keeping the lines of communication open. And I hope you hunt safe and hunt well. Yeah, well, thank you very much for your time. I mean, it's great what you guys are doing, and it's always nice to be part of something fresh and making people aware of what they need to know in the outdoors. So it's been a real pleasure. Nice talking to you. Thanks very much, Darren. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks, pal. Yeah, cheers, Anthony. Thanks. Yeah, bye, everybody. And we're back, lad. We're back. Slight technical issue there, but we're back. Oh, we're live now, right? Oh, we're live, lad. We are live, make no mistake. Sorry, the live button just is not working here as well. Well, actually, we do have one, but I just didn't turn it on. See the on-air thing there? Yeah, but I just didn't turn it on. Yeah. And it's behind me as well. So. It was very strategically placed. We have some huge technical issues here to address. We have. That was our interview with Darren. Yeah. Obviously, I couldn't make it. I was fucking down. Oh, man, it was like my left arm was gone. I'd say that, lad. I'm just surprised you got to turn on the laptop. Big... left arm. I just couldn't believe you even turned on the laptop. I was surprised it all worked out. I'm underappreciating this fucking podcast, and it's about time I got my recognition. I'm not just all beautiful. You're not just here for your looks. You're fucking definitely not here for that. Yeah, that's certain. That was interesting, though, dude, wasn't it? Yeah, very fucking interesting, man. Yeah. He's nice. I thought it was cool as well, with the intertwined technology with the polymer, where essentially the chemical, or I don't like calling it the chemical, but the additive that the tick doesn't like, is interwoven in the fabric, and it's phenomenal. And like that, a couple of surprising things that I obviously didn't know. If you go through a stream or you get a downpour, that's not washing away. It's the detergent that kills it. So low temperature and minimal detergent, which would suit me down to the ground, because my Mine are still going good from last year.
Yeah. I just bet mine off the wall every couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, look,
No, but I there's not more. I hate going out after there, man, and you get a smell of detergent. Like I hate that.
Look, I think
It needs to be like just keep her fucking
keep her country.
Keep her country. Exactly. Keep her country.
As the farmer said, that's a healthy smell.
That's a good fucking yeah. The closer it is to silage, the better.
Yeah.
You wouldn't bet that with a fucking
That's
shake.
why. Look, I'm just have to think. No wonder our wives are now more worried about us. Do you know what I mean? When you think of it,
Speak for yourself.
Look, I seen that there, man. I'm going hunting for a week. Yeah, grand.
You'll still come home.
You'll still come home.
Who else would have you?
Absolutely.
Nobody fucking else would have you.
But it's brilliant. And look at a couple of things. I suppose the price point. Look at it's not the price of a tracksuit, but as hunting gear goes, it's right on price.
Yeah.
So, which are standard hunting trousers. Like I've paid more for hunting trousers.
Yes.
Avril will tell you she's had to stitch them up a couple of times because I was not going into replace them. But like for in around that money, and the quality, we're just looking at them here. Looks smashing. We've got the flex lines now to test, do we?
Flex lines, man. Yeah. No, they're deadly. There's a couple of little things. I was having a bit of a look on the website last night. I want to get the gaiters, and I want to go make the transition to a good pair of boots this year, as opposed to a pair of wellies.
Wellies, yeah.
Good pair of boots, and get the waders. Not the waders. What do I call them? The lads that go just cover up the front.
Oh yes,
yeah. The gaiters.
Yeah.
I suppose.
You're going to hiking boot then, yeah?
Yeah, hiking boot, man. Absolutely, yeah. Definitely going to go for a hiking boot. So yeah.
I think for deer stalking, hiking boot. I think
yes.
Obviously depend on the area. Not like, remember the fucking pothole we met last year?
Pothole? Jesus, Olympic swimming pool.
I think, now in fairness, right, I think it was only about 2 foot deep, but geez, you it was like a fucking comet. All I could see was the head dropping and the water hitting the sky.
I went to your I was only talking about that the other day, man. Again, if you were on your own there, you'd be in bother.
And the first thing you were doing, save the rifle.
Just take that there. Yeah. Hold on to that. Oh, holy Jesus Christ! Yeah, I could have cracked.
But that like very good gear, and Darren, like fair play. That they know. In fairness, across the pond seems to have a lot worse than we have, but then they have the 6 species of deer and the foxes and so on.
And I'd be honest with you, I don't know if they have it worse than here. I'd say they're probably just a bit ahead of the game on realising. I think it could be every bit as bad here, but we're just not.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. And yeah, look, he got me thinking about the Munties and the Chinese water deer. Wow, I would love.
Man, I was actually looking at some of the videos the other day, and I'd love to get over there for some of them now.
But he's saying the Munties are very, very hard shot. Obviously, they're like a fucking. I said in the interview there, and they're like a fox on steroids, man, because they have the sensory intelligence of a deer, but they have the stealth of a fox, and
they're smaller,
and nimble, and so they're. But what a great stock!
Is it just me? But when I start to talk about hunting rifles or deer hunt, I get butterflies. I cannot wait, man. It's for the 1st September. Yeah, I swear to fuck that.
It is the best feeling in the world, I think. And this year, I think, look at the podcast is probably, in all fairness, for me anyway, has accentuated it, because it's on the days that you probably you've a lot of stuff on and fuck it, like and your attention gets diverted. No, fuck it, I want to get this done because I want to, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So kind of, and then you never regret it.
No.
And it's given us more feedback, more data, more tricks in our arsenal. What I mean?
Definitely. Without meeting loads of other people, getting
exactly.
ideas.
What are you doing? What gear are you using?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Come here, just on that, before going any further, I just want a massive shout out to the Bowl. George Burdess got his first deer yesterday.
Well
George
done.
is obviously on a section down in I actually don't know where it is, down Tipperary, I think somewhere. But so yeah, well done, George. I'm delighted for you. AKA the snapper. He loves that.
Yeah.
Deadly.
So he's brilliant and well earned.
Well earned. Delighted from us. Delighted from him, But so that was it. I suppose we'll move on to what's next now, don't you?
Let's do it.
And now it's time for a little thing we like to call Let's Talk Gear. And we're back. Man, we're having some difficulties today.
Are we back?
We're back, lad. It's the heat.
Good job we didn't record the conversation we were just having.
No, we won't be sharing now. Come here. We're going to talk all things guns. Guns, man. Can't beat them.
Let's talk guns, yeah.
It's hard to do shoot happen without them.
And this is a beautiful machine you have.
Yeah, I bought this. How long have I got that? I have that about 7 or 8 months, I suppose. I must surely have that, would I?
Yeah.
Maybe have it a little bit longer. Did I get it before Christmas? I think I did.
You did?
I did, because it was out over the Christmas week. Yeah, so I must have it 8 months now. And it is, of course, the Marlin 17 HMR.
Yeah.
I had a 2.2, which you are now the proud owner of.
Yeah.
And I was using the 243 to how it for foxes, and it was just heavy, man, dragging it around. And then I wanted to put the night vision on the 243, and then I didn't want to be swapping it. Then trying to swap it over there, it was just messy. So I was like, I wanted something that I could shoot foxes with and rabbits without doing too much damage.
Yeah.
So hence why I bought myself the 1.7.
And how you find it, Bren?
Yeah, I love it, man. I honestly can't fault it. It's as light as a feather.
Yeah.
It's really reactive. Now, I would like to get the trigger lightened on it a bit. I might give Mick or somebody a shout to see if they can do that for me.
Yeah.
That's the only downside to have it. It's never missed a beat since I've had it. Accurate. I'd say it's fairly accurate for a gun of that price. That kind of price range. There's a good heavy barrel on it as well. I really like it. Like, I've shot 156 yards, I think, or 57. I have a video up. You'll see one of the videos, I think, on some of our socials of one. I think it was 156 yards, fox, and stone dead. Yeah, stone dead.
Look, if the bullet's put in the right place with that thing, at that distance, it's dead.
Yeah.
The suppressor is probably the next thing.
Yeah.
It needs that.
It bangs
like a fucking mule, man.
It does, man. I couldn't. Remember the first time I ever took a shot of it? Be the love and fuck frightened. I was like, holy shit!
Like it's considerably louder than the 2.2.
Oh, considerably. Like there's a real crack off it. Yeah. So suppressor will be the next thing for it now. Definitely, yeah.
The barrel. Am I correct in saying what do we know the length of that barrel?
22 inch barrel, I think, on that. Yeah.
It's a nice compact short gun, isn't it?
It is, man. Yeah, no, I like it now. And you know yourself, it's so light, and for the kind of price range, now I actually can't exactly remember what I paid for that. They're under brand new, like I think they're definitely under €700. There could be I know prices change and fluctuates, but I know it was definitely it wasn't €700. It was less than that anyway. Yeah, brand spanking new for a bear gun, 5-shot magazine. 2-position safety, normal bolt action. I really like it, man. Genuinely, and I know lads that have had them and shot them for years and stuff, and they've a real good name. So, for a rimfire, I was like, yeah.
And look, I had to be honest with you. I think I spoke about early days in the podcast. Early days, like I said, like the 1.7, I thought was maybe in a bit of no man's land. That's my pre-misconception, I suppose. I thought maybe, oh Jesus, is he making a mistake leaving the 2.2 and then not having the distance of the 2.43 and so on. But no, it's doing its job. It's doing exactly what you wanted it to do anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like that, like you're not going to be. I know there's people out there going to say, oh, I shoot foxes at 250 or whatever. But even me, I was a 6.5. Like I rarely shoot over 150. At a fox anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
Because our ground, dips and undulates anyway.
Yeah.
Safe shots, unless you have a huge, you're dipping into a valley 300-400 meters, that or 500-600 meters clear view, wherever.
Yeah.
And the fox is in 200 or 300. But by and large, most of our fields are like, paddocks, 100, 150.
100%.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, exactly. I have to laugh as well, and I'm a huge fan of his, and I follow him a bit, but Mark Ripley, he has a 260, obviously a custom made 260. But he's shooting him out. He's shooting fox at 600 yards, and not taking a thing away from him. That's a phenomenal feat in itself to do that.
Absolutely.
But if you look at the videos on where he's shooting, it's not that it's easy. I'm certainly not. It's not that it's easy, but it's certainly an easier decision to make. I suppose looking at the kind of landscape he's on. He's across a valley. He's huge. So
like what we said there, we're going out into fields. They're probably maximum, when we come into the end of the field, you could have 200-300 yard shot max, and then you've loads of things taken. You've houses, you've mere and land, you've ditches and hedges and stuff, and what's in the next field and so on. So you're making the decision kind of split second. And I know, and you'll be the same. We've often looked at a fox at 100 yards and not taken a shot. Because we're kind of. You don't know what's behind it.
What's behind it? Yeah, absolutely.
Or you're not sure. Rather,
and it's the right decision to make.
Absolutely.
If you don't know,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's only a fucking fox, or if it's a deer, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
How many times have we been out actually down here a few times where we'd be coming out, fucking, I should have took that shot now, because after the fact you say, look, there was nothing there, and it was but split a second when you're swinging around and you're saying, you're trying to get your bearings, and so that's the as you rightly said, it's the right decision if you're even 1% unsure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, don't take the fucking shot. Yeah. But that was that's the 1-7. That's why I decided I am very happy with it. Now there is times, I'm not going to lie to you, there's times I'm down the field somewhere and I'm kind of. The wind plays a massive
factor with that.
It does plays a massive factor. I don't tend to, if it's really windy, man. It's the type of person I fucking hate wind. I'm one of those people. I put up with rain or anything, I don't, but just wind just fucking irritates. So I don't tend to usually go out much if it's heavy wind. But there are, look, I'm not going to lie, there are times where I've said to myself, fuck it, I wish I had been 2-4-3 now, because you'd see one that's pushing that little bit of a distance,
and you can't take it with
you can't take it with it. So but that's nothing against that gun as such. That's just my own.
It's doing exactly what it says on the tin.
Exactly. Brilliant for the rabbits, man. I absolutely love it. I as I said, I want to get out now this week, get some more rabbits. We're going to quarter them up and we're going to do a nice barbecue glaze on them for a fishing trip. I can't wait for that.
The fishing trip, is going to be cool.
It's going to be absolutely dead, man. I can't wait for that. But it's really good for really good for the likes of that.
So, Brenny, as we all things considered, in terms of is there much kickback in the gun?
None, really. No
really. Kick,
no kick whatsoever. Recoil, I don't know what foot pounds or torque, but it's very little, very very little. Yeah.
Any flaws?
No, not really. I tell you what, I've done once or twice, and I think it's if you and I know you've had the same issue with your 6.5. If I fill up the magazine and I'll pull back my bolt and it won't engage around
the first shot.
Yeah, that has happened to me once or twice now. So I don't know.
I'm going to try actually a 5-shot magazine and just put the 3 into that.
What's in yours? A 3, is it?
It's only 3, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll put the 3 into it. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's probably that the spring is
not just that. It's under too much pressure with the 3 in it.
It's under too much pressure. I'd say that's what it is.
To get the first one in.
So,
and what I've inevitably ended up doing is, when you put your gun up your stakes and the next thing you think you're around in the barrel, and then you second guess yourself, and then you say, "Oh fuck, is there one there?" And then you can't, obviously, you're in pitch dark. You don't want to pump another one in there.
Well, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
So
that's the downside of it. That's the big thing. You're going, fuck, I hope there's one in there now. So I just put 3 in it. 3, that's all I do now at the minute. But
synthetic stock?
Synthetic stock, man, which is all my guns are, apart from a new one, which is carbon fibre, but I don't want to brag.
God fucking help us. God fucking help us.
But that's synthetic stock.
And Highland Outdoors have a set of pink high-heeled welly boots.
Welly boots, man. It's so low.
I don't know why I'm slagging, but I think
you have essentially the same gun.
Everyone slags, so
you have essentially the same.
Well, kind of. But my gun doesn't get to stick your gun for whatever reason.
But you could have a different gun yet, lad. You wouldn't know.
But that's the thing. Might actually do. Rob was telling me there is a calculation you can use. I think I spoke to you about it before with the Creedmoor. It's very easy to calculate drop and stuff. So I'm going to ask him exactly, because I kind of picked it up a little bit as I do, and Rob will attest. I listened to some of the information and then I fill in the rest of it with my own. Which is probably
and then
not
it ends up, exactly. Then it ends up being completely wrong. So I'll just talk to Rob. I'll just give Rob a shout.
Exactly. Yeah,
easiest there, wouldn't it? It'd be easiest. But look, that's the Marlin. We wanted to do a bit of a talk about it for a while. But out of 10, I would give it. I give it an 8.5 purely on that. It's probably because it is its own genuine magazine. So that's the only issue. And then I take a few points off because of the stiffness of the trigger. I think obviously they're probably factory set up like that, but I still think it could probably be that little bit lighter. It could be probably that little bit lighter. But
and look, in terms of the magazine, that shouldn't be an issue with a brand new magazine.
No, it shouldn't be. No, and I don't see why they don't do it. I'd like most other guns. It'd be nice if it came from factory threaded, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know, like my 6.5, it's threaded.
Mine, same as mine.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be nice if they actually came factory.
And I don't know
threaded.
why they don't. Like you're especially with that gun, you're going to thread that gun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like for doing what we're doing.
But even if you don't want to put it, like still you have an option.
It
doesn't change that. And so I that's they're the only couple of things. But bang for buck, like you're talking, say I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna say €650. You will be doing well to find a gun kind of for that price range. That does what that does. Yeah.
Your rabbits, your foxes.
Yeah. Ideal.
So.
Absolutely perfect for that.
Good stuff.
So that's
good stuff.
That's the Marlin 17 HM.
Good stuff. 8.5. Well done.
Yeah. So that's it.
Our fishing trip, I suppose we're going to start building this up over, as people have probably seen on Instagram. We have a couple of little videos there.
That video is
the A team, and it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on TikTok now as well.
Is it on TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
It is.
And we gave a little bit of a profile introduction to the people that don't know him, and they should know if you listen to the podcast now. George Burdess, aka the Snapper, he's so excited, man. Like he's going to try and catch a fish in the fly. So we've
some crack. And I tell you, you haven't met him yet, but once you meet him, and he gets to know you, Dave McKeever is the funniest person you'll ever meet in your entire life.
Very good.
I swear to fuck, man. It is class.
Well, I picked some of the nicest pictures I could get of everyone.
Man, he sent
There's
me.
one where I think he's actually cross-eyed in that photograph. He's that drunk.
That's him in his natural habitat. That's just very good. Which natural that, but he actually sent me a video earlier on. I could not stop. I fucking raging. I didn't save it. But he's building a house, obviously. He's putting down his wooden floors to get ready for his kitchen, you know. But he bought an IKEA kitchen. He says to me, do you know how much they wanted? He said, for fitting it. I said, I wouldn't have a fucking clue, man. How much did they want for it? $4,000. I says, Dave, that couldn't be right, man. $4,000 to fit it. He says, lad, I think he said it was $4,000 they wanted to fucking fit it, right?
Cheap money now.
Man, you'd want to see the poor bastard, man. I'd emigrate. He's a room like this,
stacked to the
ceiling with flat pack. Oh, sweet suffering, Jesus Christ, man.
I had to make one up the other day for the baby's fucking gear.
Oh no, it's torture, man. It's torture. I've told her, one more flat pack. Divorce. You don't even need to. I'll automatically take it that you want a divorce. Oh, I swear to God, no.
Mr. IKEA, man, he's not a friend of man.
No. Did you see the orca that they're making? And it's like a bedside locker. It's literally about a 2.5 foot section of a tree. See that?
No.
It's like $480 something. It's in America. It's on the IKEA. Like it's literally, if you got a fucking trunk of a tree and you cut about 2.5 foot out of it, and it's about 12 inches wide. That's it. There's no drawers. There's no nothing. That's exactly the way it is. It's obviously must be dried. 480 something. That's what it is.
Oh my!
Imagine that, lad. Yeah, you could make a fucking ball of them.
Well, there's people now that go around making IKEA furniture. Is it kind of like
a job? Yeah.
We're coming.
Man, are they like? Is that some sort of like a religious like thing that they're kind of punishing themselves for something?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it must be.
I couldn't
go to man.
I couldn't think of a worse job, man.
Oh,
Every day, Monday morning.
Because it's not too bad if you're doing them repetitively and you don't have to read the instructions. But the instructions, man, are not very fucking clear as well, because which is back and which is front.
I know.
And I don't know how many times I've got 3/4 way through it and discovered that the fucking the bottom shelf was the wrong way around or something. Do you know what I mean? And everyone has to come back out.
Oh, fuck that. Oh, jeez, no, it's not worse than that. And then to give you the picture, like you said, there's a panel.
Yeah.
And you have to count the holes to
see which is top, which is bottom.
Is that the way it's supposed to be? And then you're like, it's just so open interpretation. Like, oh, sweet jazz. I have a little, I call it my thickness vein.
That
a
starts to
little
protrude.
vein here in my forehead. And when that starts to beat, it's just walk away.
Walk away,
That's yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, the humour does not be sweet.
The old
But anyway.
sledgehammer and the 4-inch nails.
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't be sweet. So that's what David McKeever's at for this weekend. So you're in our thoughts, lad. You are in our thoughts.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, lad. Yeah. You have fucking fun with that. But yeah. So any plans this week? Will you get out at all, or?
I won't get out now, Brenny. I've my grandfather's mass tomorrow morning, and Ryan has a football match then tomorrow evening, and then we've actually loading the car at the minute and straight down to Galway.
Oh, super stuff.
So yeah, my second lad finished primary school this week, so he was working yesterday and the day before, earning his few bob, and
good stuff.
so he's staying with his nanny next week and granddad, and he's going to help them out, and yeah, he'll follow down. We've a wedding next Saturday in Galway.
Oh, very good. Friends, family?
Family, yeah. Av's cousin, Fintan. So, yeah, Fintan and Neve and Ronan and, yeah, Baz and Ger. Lovely people. We always hook up and run down there, and we always have...
Okay.
Yeah. Well, every time funny story, we were actually talking about last night, brandy. Do you like brandy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I had a penchant for Remy Martin at one stage, and but I went over. It was Neve's birthday, and she's up knocking the car, so I went across. And myself and Av won about 2 years ago. I didn't want to go empty-handed, and I wouldn't be a big pints drinker and stuff, so I bring a bottle of this, and a few people can have a shot out of it or whatever. And so Grant brought the bottle of Remy over and had a glass, and I'd be there talking like somebody. The next thing I'd feel the glass being filled,
Cheers,
Neve, and she was in full flight, man. Yeah, she obviously thought it was wine or something, maybe with the green bottle.
Holy
shit, man. She kept topping me up, and then she fly off, and she was lit.
Yeah.
So I was, oh Jesus! Got to the end of the night anyway, and I went to go home. She, don't forget your bottle. And there was a drizzle left in the bottom of it. I drank nearly 3/4 of the bottle of it. I don't recommend it. I was dying.
Oh, be the Lord Jesus, man. There's nothing worse. Be the Holy Jesus, space.
Lovely drink.
Yeah. But do you find hangovers when you get older? Like hangovers now, man, are horrendous.
Horrendous, yeah.
They take days to get rid of. Like they're horrendous, and they fuck up your head and everything.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, man. Used to be 18, you go out absolutely blue. When I was 18, man, it was like I was like a 10 pints of Budweiser and then 8 or 9 vodka and Red Bulls.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person I was. Wake up next morning, shake the head, fucking grand.
Yeah,
100%. Smoke a few fags into you.
Ate the rest of the Chinese that you left the night before.
Exactly.
For the breakfast.
A few cans of Red Bull and a ball of Benson Hedges. I'm sure what bother be on you.
Not
Do
a
you know what
bother.
I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It must be something to do with, like, obviously you're growing a few brain cells there, so the ones that you're burning are being instantly replaced.
Yeah.
But now,
oh no.
It's one-way traffic.
100%. I don't know who was told maybe it was you who was telling the story to. When we lived out in Australia, Debbie was working for a company, and they did. She was a property manager, and this was Elders Real Estate. They used to, rent and sell properties and all. But for their Christmas too, of course, Christmas over there is in the middle of it's in the middle of their summer. So they rented out a house in the Clare Valley. Clare Valley be a real good wine region in Australia. It'd be well known. There's a trail all through the Clare Valley, and you'd see a load of wines now, and they'll name the trail on it.
Okay.
But anyway, so we went down, of course, me being Irish and being loud.
In comes Brutus,
big, loud, obnoxious fucking Clare fella. They were all fucking having the crack, and sure they thought, fucking, this lad's great crack and the whole lot, and fucking throwing. There's a drink over there, James Bogues. It's like an IPA. I had fucking that. Next thing it was on pre-mixed cans of fucking Jack Daniels and Coke. Then there was Bundaberg rum, which, if anyone doesn't know, it tastes like you sprayed deep heat in your mouth. And then we were on the whiskey. It was outrageous, man. But I just remember we were renting an apartment in this real nice golf club. So anyway, do you know those times where you kind of wake up in the bed and you sort of open one eye first, just have a little bit of a suss out. Where are you? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm here. And then you kind of like, just not too bad now. And then you fucking trying to get your bearings, and you're like, Jesus, no, I think I'm not too bad. And I got up anyway, and then first thing I kind of noticed, but it didn't pass much heat, was she wasn't in the bed, she was on the couch. So I was like, yeah, didn't pass much heat in that. I went into the toilet, and then there was the very distinctive smell of vomit. There was somebody had been quite sick. And then I walked out, and Debbie was over on the couch, and I just said to her, I says, oh, you all right, babe? She's like, yeah. I says, yeah, were you sick? No, I wasn't sick, no. then it dawned on me, it was just like, holy fuck. I can't remember, I screed last night. But man, it was the worst. Now, I don't say this lightly, the worst. I've had some motherfucking hangovers in my life. This was the worst hangover I ever had in my entire life, right? And then to me, I couldn't even all I could do was grunt. I couldn't even talk. I was just like, every so often I'd let out one of these. Oh, that's all I could do, right? And then I'll never forget. She said, "Look, we'll get out here on you. We'll head back. 3-hour drive back through like the desert, basically, right to Whyalla. This is a fact." She goes up, picks up the car. We then Mitsubishi Magna, a 97 Mitsubishi Magna 3-litre V6, and came back down. And the one thing no man in that state ever wants to hear is, "There's a light after coming on the dash." I says, "What sort of a light?" And she started explaining to me. I says, "Oh, here, I'll just go and look at it." And yeah, the fan belt was at the break of a Sunday. So no power steering and no, more importantly, no aircon. Now 45 degree heat. I'm not exaggerating. This is a fact. And I was like, this is someone punishing me now. So we get into the car and we drove an hour and a half, man, and I couldn't physically take it anymore. And there was this place called Repco. It's like kind of fucking Halford's over there, you know, but it's open on Sunday. So I went in anyway, absolutely dying in my good clothes. And I said to him, "Man, have you an air conditioning belt for this Mitsubishi Magna?" "Yeah." And I says, "Oh, you give me a box of sockets." "I have no fucking sockets." And I lay in the dirt, man, for an hour and a half, whipped the wheel off. In the worst hangover you've ever seen, man. 45 degree heat, changing the fan belt in the fucking car. Oh,
well, you slightly redeemed yourself, because 3/4 way through that story I was thinking to myself, what does she see in you? Right? But you're lucky you pulled her out of the bag.
I got her some aircon, man. But it was it was the worst hangover. I never forget it. Like, even the day after I says, right, KFC, that'll cure me up straight away.
Still
and I couldn't fucking eat it.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was, man.
I think every person can remember their worst one, you know, because it like it is when you get one. I think it's as well where, you know, when you're in that vibe where, you know, you could drink for Ireland, you know.
This is brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
I should do more of this.
Yeah. And they're the dangerous ones, because you've gone 4 or 5 pints past hangover stage.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're in like, nuclear territory.
Yes, then. You're in like
similar. My grandfather, which I'm going to his mass tomorrow. The worst hangover, and he was a pioneer.
Was he?
God help him. But we used to go down to him every year, down to Galway races, and he'd put myself and my uncle up, and he'd look after us, you know. We were going down there under pretense we were looking after him, but it was the other way around. He'd drop us into Salt Hill for a few pints. He'd sit up and read the paper on the Strand and bring us home whenever we wanted, you know.
I love it.
But there was a drink down there. It's called the Bogman.
The Bogman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And it's like I don't know, a cross between Watery Guinness and Smithwick's, man. It would be only but it's not.
It's the stuff that's in the drip tray.
Yeah. But I had a couple of pints before, like, and just said, "Geez, that's nice now, you know. There's a bit of a cut off that, you know, not too heavy, and you know, good for the thirst, but not heavy, you know, for Guinness, you know, if you're wanting the humour for it."
Yeah.
And but like that, I remember getting up the following morning, and he looked after me like a lamb, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't able, like, do you know when you go to take your head just off the pillow?
Yeah.
And next thing you get this shooting pain in your head, and this will to want to.
Yeah.
You know, that nuclear vomit.
Yeah,
you know, the greeny one.
Yes.
You know that one?
Yeah.
And so I'd have to, you know, go in, get sick, go back in, and I get a reprieve for about 5 minutes. The next thing, it'll start to build again, you know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez, he fed me Panadol and paracetamol. And then he said, "Young lad, you may get up and have a cup of tea." I said, "Granddad, I can't. I couldn't go to the races. I couldn't go anywhere."
Oh, man.
And yeah, about 5:30 that evening, I started to surface. But like that,
I guarantee there's only one place to go: Supermax.
Yeah,
guaranteed. Yeah.
Burger and chips.
But old Pat McDonough, man, he's a fucking legend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's bad when you get it
like
that.
Man, there's not worse. As a lad once said to me, "You were as shook as the Pope's hand, lad."
Yeah.
I always thought that was a great one. How are you today? Oh, lad, I'm as shook as the Pope's hand.
Great. I just think, imagine the state of us out, 7 of us out in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Man, I can't wait.
We're stopping for pints and everything.
This is the I can't. Oh man, I can't even get into me. I can visualize.
Do you have a harness? No.
A harness.
I think we should bring harnesses, man.
Why?
There's somebody going overboard. That's what's going to happen.
Honest to
We're not exactly like. I'm just looking around. Like ankle stairs is the smallest of us, the skinniest of us, you know, and the rest of us like are fucking brutes. They're like
we weren't built for speed.
We weren't. No, we weren't. We just have to make sure there's equal measures on both sides of the boat.
Yeah. How big is this boat? You've seen this boat.
It'd be big enough, like.
Yeah. We'll fit in it.
We just hope there's no wind. You're seasick as well. Like,
well, I don't know. I'm seasick. I'm not a massive fan of it. Like, I don't have. I've never been seasick, but like, I'm probably not like.
And just to put it in perspective, we're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Like, there is no on a calm day, it's choppy. So,
why did you have to say that? Andy?
But look
can we not just like tip
a couple
out
of pints over in Inishore?
How far is it from Inishmore? How long does it take to get across there?
I'd say from Spiddle, I'd say an hour or more, maybe.
Fuck off, man. Is it?
It would be, yeah.
On a little fucking boat.
Yeah.
Bollocks, man. I didn't know any of this shit.
We're not on Baywatch, man.
Yeah, it's not an hour. I thought it was like 5 minutes.
No, jeez, no. Sure, the one from the pier there to go over to the islands, I'd say is 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, would it?
But that'd be slower, would it not?
I don't know, man. I'm only guessing all this. I don't have no clue. Like.
Not a fucking hell! I didn't know about this, man. Oh, I thought it was just like you could nearly see. Can you not like just see the island? No,
jeez, no. You wouldn't.
Can you not? No,
no. Oh. Sure, Spiddle's looking that way, man. The islands are behind you. They're like
right.
You know, you have a lot of coastline between Spiddle and I can't remember the fucking. Jeez, what's the name of the place that you go over to the islands?
I don't know. I haven't got a clue. And what? So just a couple of pubs in there, then, or a pub in it? Is there?
I think there's a couple of pubs, yeah.
Is there? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this, man. I've never been over there. It's going to be brilliant.
It is going to be brilliant.
If we get the weather, it'll be fucking phenomenal, man.
Forget like today, man. Yeah. That's going to be all you want.
Yeah, it'll be deadly.
And a big cook up then.
Oh, I can't wait, yeah.
Feed a drink. Hangover.
Feed a drink, lad. We'll drink what
I'm just going to say it, right? Just on the Wednesday night now, we're going to have to apply some restraint, right? Because as bad as it is with a hangover,
no, man,
in the middle of the sea,
no.
There's going to be one.
Couple of no. Oh, McKeever, 100% that he can't. There's no.
When we bring the harness for McKeever,
yeah. Oh, McKeever will be the one. He'll do the dog on it.
We do
100%.
He'd be like Titanic. He wanted the Titanic.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be a bit. Well, I can't wait, man. It's going to be some fucking crack.
No, it's great crack. Great crack. Can't wait.
Savage crack. We'll wrap it up there.
I think we'll wrap it up there.
That's episode number 38 in the bag. We'll have to do something special for episode 50. It's not too far away.
It's not. Jeez, man. Who would have thought?
Who would have fucking thought it?
And a big thanks to everyone. I mean, we're looking at numbers, and there's new followers and new listeners every single, and I mean this every single day.
Yeah.
And spread across the globe. We would have. I think we spoke about it. You know, even with the news and stuff. Like, we have huge followers across the pond.
Yeah.
In the UK, and also spread from America, New Zealand,
Australia,
Canada.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you very much for listening to our bullshit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have a long look at yourselves because
man, we're the best thing in your lives, man.
Something like
we are not role model.
I see. We got our statistics from Spotify here a while ago, and I was looking through the list of some of the countries. Like,
it's
like
mad.
we had a couple of hundred downloads in Azerbaijan.
I was going to say that.
Jason, Azerbaijan is listening to us, lad. Guam, lad. That's mad. Yeah. That's that island. That's that. Isn't that? That's actually an American, isn't it? Or is it a naval base? Or is it,
I think so. Yeah.
Guam. Yeah, that's out in the. Yeah, is that in the Pacific Ocean?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Here's me. I have no fucking clue what it is.
But it's a long way away.
Yeah, it is a long way. But listen, thanks a million, everyone that's listening. We really do appreciate it, and it's good to be able to bring us along on our journey. And
absolutely,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it'll be probably back on kind of fishing a little bit over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be diving in and out of hunting. We're going to do Rovince next week. On our
we'll give that a little bit of a wear. I'll be walking around Galway Prom in Rovince gear.
Rovince gear, lad. It's good looking. So honestly, all joking aside, like, it's not. I know obviously when you're out there, it's not about how it looks, but it is actually really good looking. Like it's.
I'm just looking here in front of me, literally in front of me, and like that, I would have thought now it would have been heavier. You know, because I had this kind of.
I don't like heavy trousers. Whatever about a jacket, man, heavy trousers. No, fuck that. No,
but it seems kind of like it's going to be warm enough.
Yeah.
But and obviously for anyone who doesn't know, like we need to have inflexible clothing. We're not the most nimble lads getting over hedges and ditches, so we need something that moves with us.
Moves with us, exactly.
So this is perfect for us, the flex line. And
ideal.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Right, yo, we'll wrap it up.
And thanks to Dom in Highland Outdoors as well.
Dom, you're an absolute legend.
Set us up and he set me with my new little spigot for.
He did.
I am going to convert Brendan Maguire to the tripod.
That would
almost. It's a nail-on cert.
I'd be very surprised.
My Davros head,
right?
I'll make no mistake about it, is more stable than your quad sticks.
Okay, I'll have a look at it. But I just love the quad sticks. I just think they're easier when you're walking. You can use them as they're handier as like an actual hiking stick and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's somewhere in the instructions that is exactly what you're not to be using them as. But
when you're stuck, like it's his fucking job. Yeah.
And maybe like definitely not for us pair of fucking brutes use it as well.
No. But I just I'll tell you, we must do a bit of a comparison video. And we'll get a couple of pictures up and stuff like that. Yeah, and we'll do a bit of a test. Why don't we look like we do with Everton competition?
No problem.
Let's do
Push it out.
100 yards.
Yeah,
out. That's what we do with. I should have my license for my 6.5 shortly.
That would be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'd like that now. Yeah, I'd like that.
And what we could do is we can't. I was going to say we swap guns, but we can't do that.
No, I'm not giving you my gun.
We could swap sticks.
I'm muck savage like you.
No point giving it good habits, I suppose.
With my carbon fibre, are you joking? Not fucking up. I know, but it'd be good crack. Yeah, we should do something like that. Right job. Yeah. Right, listen, everyone, enjoy the rest. What are you saying there?
Easy money.
Oh my god, no such thing.
Guys, thanks a million.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe and get out and maybe do a bit of hunting and fishing if you get a chance to.
Get the fuck up and hunt.
Take it easy.
Over and out.